Welcome back to Going for Gold with Gia. We're thrilled to kick off another episode with another very special guest, three-time Olympian, world champion medalist, and founder of Azza Fencing shoes, Azza Besbes. Azza, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I think going for gold for Azza will be more appropriate right now. She's an Olympian and all the gold medal winners. Fun fact that she lives in Paris right now, but she's originally from Tunisia. And her generation, Tunisian women fencers were absolutely dominant in the world. Between Azza, her sister, who was the number one epist in the world, and Ines Boubakri, they're like a superstars. And
this was the golden generation.
Yes, golden generation. But in the continent of Africa, like Egyptians probably produced the more of like a male fencers, dominant fencers. There were some Tunisians, there were the women when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Tunisia.
What I was regretting back at the time is that we didn't have a competition where you have like the three weapons in a team. Because I'm sure we would have won so many medals together. Because I was by myself in saber, Ines in foil, my sister in épée. But then we didn't have a squad. Like we couldn't like compete at the highest level in teams. And I was wondering why we do not have like a competition where you have like one
in each weapon. Yes.
It would have been fun because many countries, they have like strong individualities, but in each team, but not like a full strong team. And it's always the same, like France, Italy, Germany, USA, who have the ability to have a complete strong team.
But if it was a one fencer, that Tunisia will dominate for like probably 2 quadrennials and winning the most of the gold medals.
Always getting emotional when I think about it. Is that my mom, Ines' mom, they were friends and they were fencers together. And then this is how we became fencer. And then
generational.
Exactly. And we became a family. And fencing is all about family, because it's very niche sport. Then it's almost everyone know everyone, and this is like a community, but this community is really like a family.
World is a very small place. Having someone like you who come from Tunisia, and we'll talk about the shoes, the creator of one of the best shoes on fencing market.
Yeah.
But being in South Bend, Indiana, second times on the row, and connecting to our team and to our beautiful weather outside, which you several times noticed how pleasant it was to walk around in like -7 degrees today. But despite all these obstacles, thank you so much for returning and truly giving us an incredible advantage, but also the special treatment to our team to be a part of the legacy of your incredible creation. The shoes are here. A little bit of your story as a fencer, the transition to an incredible inventor and a businesswoman.
I've been fencing for 20 plus years. 2006, I won my first medal in cadet world championships. And my parents were like, okay, you are now the best in Tunisia. You need like stronger sparring partners. We want to support you in your dream. Because in Tunisia, when I was saying, I want to become world champion, I want to qualify to Olympics, I want to do that, people were laughing, literally, because like, this small kid from Tunisia, she want to compete against the French, the Italian, the Korean. I was like, yes, I want to do that. And the only people who believed in me were my parents. I made it to Olympics and I finished top 8. I was the youngest fencer back at the time. I had like 17-year-old. Spending my life in the highest level was very tough for me as a fencer because I had like every day 5-6 hours training at this level, and then every weekend you have a competition, and you know how much we travel in fencing. So in 2020 I was going for the Tokyo Olympics, and I was like, okay, this is my last Olympic, then let's try to resist to the Olympics.
And that would made 4th Olympics.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then they said we postponed it for 1 year, and I told my husband, no way, I can go for 1 more year. If you're sad to quit, then why you don't try to stay in the fencing community in another way? And I was like, no, I don't want to be a coach. This is not for me. He was like, no, I'm not talking about being a coach. Think what you were missing when I was an athlete. So I was thinking, I said, yeah, all my problems were because of my fencing shoes. And by the way, I ended up wearing badminton shoes because they were, for me, they had like better cushion, better comfort for fencing, but I had to like change them every 2-3 months because they won't resist to the abrasion, stuff like that. And he was okay, let's make them fencing shoes. I was like, no, I've never done that. I was working, by the way, in finance. My husband is like an oil and gas engineer in construction. Nothing to do, both of us, with fencing, with shoes, nothing. And he's like, you are the best person to know what fencers need in a fencing shoe. Okay, I know, but I don't know how to do a shoe. And he's like, okay, this is our time. Let's learn how to do it. It took us 2.5 years to really develop our first model because we started from scratch. We wanted to do things like really good, so we started with the research and development with a lab in Hong Kong. When we started, it was for us like a hobby. We never expected that we will achieve what we achieved. Impact on fencers, and from there we started working with a former Adidas designer, and he started working with us since then. And we designed our first prototypes. It was me, yes, but many fencers helped us in the development by testing the shoe, helping on the design, giving us feedback. And at the end, we ended up with a product that fencers developed with, which is for me is a pride. It was my way to give something to the community of fencing, because fencing has been the center of my life for all my life, I would say. We started teasing about it in 2022, and then we started really selling it by end of 2022. And this is where we met with Gia in Cairo
at the World Championships.
Oh.
And the credit you had in the fencing community, the fencer she was, and the exposure she had an impact on the fencing, that was the first, was captured the shoe looked great on the display, but the connection of the fencer and the shoe was the most impactful for me. Mm-hmm. So we had a great, we met each other and communicated, and there was a really great connection. I said, would you come to visit? And people thought, okay, that's everybody invites everyone. But a couple of years later, she was here and brought the first prototype. And the question was, can we make it something would have a colors? Mm-hmm. And after a lot of, going back and forth, that this shoe was unveiled, and it's a pride of our athletes. I think that 90% of our fencers wear these shoes at the competitions or anywhere they go to. That's how could that be recognized.
Yeah, I remember in 2023 you partnered with us, and you were giving all the fencers the rainbow colored ones to try out before the model came out. So
yes,
for your blessings, you were the part of the customizing the colors to Notre Dame colors, your shoes, which make our athletes so special, and the new model you're coming up with. But tell us the story about the shoes.
I had the chance to be part of this fencing community, and people know me, so I could work with the top ranked fencers in the world. So and many of them were excited, like, oh, this is first time we have a fencer who is really doing a gear for us. So it was really our slogan, like from fencer to fencers. It reminds me of my path when I started fencing, because fencing in Tunisia is not a popular sport. So you wouldn't expect to be able to win world championship medals, be in the finals and quarterfinals in Olympics, stuff like that. This shaped my character and my personality, and taught me how to stay humble and to be like a fight for everything. So, and this is when we started the shoe project with my husband. I was okay. I don't know how to do it, but I'll go 100%. And this is what helped us. And then when I see now, 5 years later, what we achieved, Notre Dame was our first US university with whom we worked. And to be honest, it opened for us a lot of doors. This is something I can be proud of and very thankful. Now we're having 6 other universities in the US who are wearing our shoes, and we will try to push for more. And making it like a customized for Notre Dame is also for us something exciting, because on social media, the huge amount of messages we received, like, oh, we want this one. This is Notre Dame colorways. It's so nice. It's so attractive. Can we have it? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. This is exclusive to Notre Dame. It was for us something special that we felt exclusive also. We felt exclusive because we produced and we developed something exclusive to Notre Dame, which for me, in all the universities, is like the best excellence center we're having. So for us also is a mark of pride, because, we are linked to this excellence. Yes. So for us also is a mark of recognition. I can't repeat it enough, but you guys have really the best facilities I've ever seen in all the different countries I've been in. You're giving your fencer really the best chances to become the best and to be a better person. This is very important. better fencer and then graduate in one of the best schools. This chance is not given to everyone. And of course, your fencers realize that, but even people who are watching us, they must realize that Notre Dame environment is in my top 3, the best environment ever I have ever seen.
You know, it's a fencing. It's a mystical sport, and or majestic, or like whatever you want to call. And the transformation to super men and super women happens with the cape or the mask, and the shoes is the part of it for Notre Dame fencers. So having that, and without your support, nothing, you know, really would be hard to connect all this colors together. And we did the special episode the other day, and shoe is such a big part of it. We're not just the shoe we buy somewhere. It's made for our fencers from one of the best athletes in the past and one of the great visionaries of this for the shoe development in this sport. So thank you. We're such a lucky and prideful to call you a friend here.
So when I decided to quit, my husband saw how sad I was. Really, I was sad to quit because it was not like the decision I wanted to make at that time. It was really because I had to quit. My body was like, you're done. When we started the project, never in our life, my husband and I were thinking that we will achieve what we have achieved. I remember I lost 15-14 against Rebecca Ward in quarterfinal. And this is, by the way, why this model is called 15-14. Because the number of time I lost 15-14 in quarterfinal, Rio Olympics quarterfinal, again I lose 15-14, and so many times in World Championships also I remember. And then in 2017 in World Championships, table 16 against a Korean girl, and we were 14-14, and I was like, again. So I just looked at my coach and like, okay, we're done. And he's like, no, you can do it. And yeah, I've done it. And then it was like the first time I win 15-14. I was like, finally, I could do it. I could win 15-14. And then I went to quarterfinal and then semifinal. And again, semifinal, I was led 8-0. And at the time, like the break, I was looking at my coach and I said, what a shame. And I'm in front of how many thousands people watching.
You were down 8-0?
Yeah. And I was like, what a shame. Semi-final, you're down 8-0. What I'm doing here? And my coach was like, who cares? You're in semi-final. And said, yes, this is the problem. I'm in semi-final. I'm like, I'm freeze. And he's like, just put the first touch and you will make it. I was like, no, stop it. Well, one touch. I said, yes, put the first touch and you will make it. We came back and then I put the first touch, second one, third one. Then I started to believe again. Then it was like, she was leading all the match until like we were 14-11. 14-11, I was like, okay, I made my best. I'm proud of being back. I'm not going to lose like 15-3 or 15-4. So it's okay. So I started to really fence freely at 14-11, like, I don't care. I'm losing, but at least I did my best. And then I come back 14-14, and then I won 15-14. I was like, no way I couldn't. And this is why I decided to call my first collection 15-14. Second one is called Master. You'll know more about it later. What we are proud of is that we are now testing this collection with the Notre Dame fencers. They give us a very relevant feedback. Mm-hmm. When something is not going well, they will give you the tiny details, why this is not working, why this is working. And this is for us is tremendous amount of data that helping us to produce the shoe, by the way. So can't wait to see this model out. And of course, we won't reveal it now, but it will be having Notre Dame colorways as well.
Okay.
So we asked the fencers to give us the best possible scenarios, and they're working with the creator here to be able to come up. So they asked us a kind of opinion, but we kind of removed ourselves because we don't want to be blamed for being old-styled or old-fashioned or not versed enough.
And I mean, I want them to always have this feeling that they are exclusive. So it's their choice. We will do it for them. We are happy to do it for them. But they must always feel special because they are special.
So you talked about how you're the official shoe of USA Fencing.
For us, it was a surprise, to be honest. So we had the meeting, great meeting. And to be honest, for me, it's a dream to be really. When I think now, Azza Fencing is the official supplier and partner of USA Fencing. I would never thought about this in my craziest dream ever. We're talking about a federation who has so many talented players, a huge market, special fencers, Olympic champions. This type of partnership, they only push you and motivate you to go beyond your limits and do the best and offer the best. So we are not talking about ranked number 100. We're talking about the best fencer in the world.
We're so lucky to have a great Azza Besbes here. And for our kids, it's like having her around. It's like, oh yeah, she's coming. No big deal. So they're so spoiled. That you're spoiling us. But thanks again for making this journey and giving us an incredible privilege and pride to be a part of your endeavor as
Same
well.
way here. Thank you both.
That's a wrap for this week's episode of Going for Gold with Gia. And as always, go Irish!